What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Never Miss Monday's podcast. It's been a minute. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Matthew.
In case you guys forgot.
Yep.
And of
I'm
course,
back.
as soon as we start talking, the dogs come. You need to lay down. But we are going to talk a little bit today. I was toying back and forth between, oh my God, it's like all the animals are summoning. Chester's coming over here. Draco's coming over here. Callie thankfully laid down. It's like they know it's their time to Oh.
Hey, bud. How you doing? What do you got to say?
Oh my God. That was so cute.
Hi, bud.
Buddy, what do you have to say? Anything?
He's saying, take me off my diet.
Oh my God. No, he never loves on you like that, especially if I'm here. Oh my God.
That's why he went back to you.
That's my man. Oh my gosh. I just got so distracted. We know who my favorite animal is. It's Cooter. He's the best. But I was like toying back and forth whether or not I was going to talk about this. Oh my God. He's being so loving. I can't even concentrate. All I'm looking at is him right now. Oh my God. No, I can't.
What do you have to say? Come on.
Bobby, come on. He says, I love my mom, I love my dad, and I love Meow Mix. And tell them to stop putting me on a diet, even because they think I'm fat. Okay, I need to stop. I was toying back and forth between whether I was going to talk about it or not. And I just decided that, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I want to continue to talk about it, as well as with now being a prep coach. I feel like talking about this is important, and I think it'll be good for, my current prep clients to see, as well as anybody else who is thinking about competing. So, and just because I love sharing my stuff, I love sharing my journey, and I can't ever shut up. So you need to stop. But I have officially started prep.
Ooh.
I started prep on Monday, and I started prep for my second season. I did one show last April, so I took just about a year off season I had like a small recomp phase in the middle of that, but nothing major. I really had pretty much a year off season, which was great. I needed it. I got a lot accomplished in my year off season. I switched coaches. I went through a very good growing phase, went through a very good recomp, established a better relationship with food and dieting, had more flexibility in my life for the first time since like 2022. Like, finally had flexibility in my life in the off season, which was very important to me, as well as even had flexibility in my recomp phase, which I think was very important. And just already I can tell, being in prep, I'm like, I know it's been a week, but I just can already tell I'm way less food focused than I was going into it last year, because I just wasn't spending a copious amount of time dieting prior to it. I was fueled. I started prep at very good food amounts, as well as I also had leniency coming into play prior to starting prep. Like I said, I didn't have last year, so I feel like it was so much pent up just unbalancedness that I didn't need, that I think caused some issues. But we got a lot accomplished. But yeah, I started prep on Monday.
Yeah, you did.
So
Day one of prep and traveled.
Day one of prep, I got on a plane and started my period. And you know what's even more fucked up is that's exactly what happened last year. So I'm 2 for 2. I'm literally 2 for 2.
Just started a tradition. It's gonna happen every time now.
You know what? Honestly, life just kicks me in the ass for the first week, and then everything else is smooth sailing from there. Like, if I can get through last week, then like the next couple weeks of me being at home, cake fucking work, bro. Cake work. Like, nobody's business. So I feel like the world is just like being like, we're just gonna absolutely throw every single thing possible at you, and then you'll be fine. And I'm alive. So I made it through. But prep started Monday. I am now, you guys will see this Monday, me officially 1 week into prep. So I started prep 17 and a half weeks out, which is also cool because last year my prep was about 24 to 25 weeks.
Felt like a whole year.
Literally. But like I said, I was dieting for a very long time prior to that. So that's kind of cool. My prep's a little bit shorter this year. I am doing more than one show. I'm doing 2 shows this year. They're back-to-back, so back-to-back peak weeks. So it'll be just about 17 and a half and 18 and a half weeks. So very feasible timeline. Very excited about it. And yeah, but we had I guess I can talk a little bit about my growing phase. I had a really productive growing phase. I ended up putting on from my lowest in my recomp to my end about 15 pounds, and that was from December to May. So just about 6 months, put on 15 pounds. And so perfect amount of weight there. Also, I am starting prep this year only like 4 or 5 pounds lighter than I did last year, but completely different look. So I'm holding mass completely differently. I have way more muscle mass than I did last year, way less body fat than I did last year. So I weigh almost about the same, but completely different. So
you look
night and day difference. Yeah, night and day difference. That's for sure. So we worked really hard, getting food to a good spot, training really hard. Also, like intention with training, like actually having a good training program, a good training volume, good training progression, all things in my growth phase. So I'm super overall very happy with how I did. But yeah, started prep Monday. I had a couple crash outs along the way, but you know,
a couple. Nothing like eating English muffins in the airport bathroom.
Yeah, I was so embarrassed because I had my Squishmallow in my suitcase, and also I just get so overwhelmed in the airport, and so I had to pee, and I was getting stuff out of my bag, and so I just pulled my food out, and I ate my hard-boiled eggs and my English muffin coming out of the bathroom. So, you know what? So, and I ate cold ground beef, cold rice. Cold rice is like a cardinal sin, dude. I'm not a huge rice person anyways. Cold rice is fucking disgusting.
That is disgusting.
And
it's like eating like sand.
Literally like cardboard, dude. It's disgusting. Like it's so crazy to me that all of these gas stations have microwaves and the airports don't have standalone microwaves. Whatever. And green beans and chicken and green beans and rice and half rotten avocado.
Ew.
Yogurt and whatever. But you know what? I did it and I signed up for this and we made it work. But yeah, I had a couple crash outs, debating whether or not starting prep was the right thing to do and if I was ready. I'm very proud of the package that I brought last year. I absolutely killed it. My mindset through prep was just like unwavering last year. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned that this is something that I do love and I want to continue doing. But ultimately, I didn't bring a whole lot of muscle. I didn't bring the best conditioning either, due to a plethora of reasons. So I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting on stage too soon again? What should I be taking a longer off season? What should I be doing? What am I doing wrong? And literally this crash out happened probably I think it was last time I hung out with Josie. It was that morning that I had the crash out, was before her show. So probably about a month and a half ago, I think it was.
And then the Monday before last, you crashed out in your check-in.
Wait, why?
Because of starting prep and you didn't know if you were ready. And Meg pretty much just told you to
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. You look great. We're doing it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Go Meg. But yeah, my month and a half ago crash out was like my biggest one probably. I like I said, I was so happy with how my growing phase was going, like phenomenal. Went way better than I, you know, ever could have imagined. But I all of a sudden, like one day, was just getting in the headspace of like, have I grown enough? Like I still feel very small, and I am very small still. Like I'm still very much an amateur, whatever. But I was just like, oh my gosh, like have I put enough muscle mass on? Is it even worth it to prep right now? Like what it like should I be doing this? You know, does Meg think that I should be getting on stage? Like I needed her feedback because like if she was just letting me get on stage because that's what I was saying I wanted to do, like I wanted her to say like, you know, without a doubt we will beat your package last year. You put on mass, like you should get on stage this year, things like that, because we have talked about, you know, long-term goal is to go pro. And so I'm like, am I rushing things too soon by getting on stage? But then obviously we have our wedding in June of 26. So if I didn't get on stage now, I wouldn't be getting starting prep until like December or spring of 26, 27. And so we're talking like super long off season, which I was okay with if that's what we had to do. If she was like, you need to not get on stage. So I sent like the world's longest message, and she, you know, I was just crashing out. I was having a moment like everybody does. But the thing to take from this is communicate with your coach if you have one. Like if you're going through something, you need some reassurance, reach out to them and let them be a voice of reason. Because in my mind, I knew I knew what she was going to say. I just needed to hear her say it. And lo and behold, you know, she sent a message back and just kind of said, you know, well, what exactly are your goals with this season? You know, if your goal is to get on a national stage and be competitive at a national stage, I don't, you know, realistically, I don't think we should do that yet. But she's, you know, she said, if your goal is to, you know, shoot for a class win, overall win, to one, see how, you know, get true conditioning and get true feedback from the judges once you are actually conditioned and see the mass that you put on, then absolutely yes, we should do these shows. And she said she believes that I should do these shows in this season and that this will be very beneficial for us heading into the next very long growth season, is to get those that feedback from the judges with being very conditioned. So that's what we are doing.
Ooh, let's get her done.
Get her done, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to kill it.
are you excited for me to be in prep again?
Yes.
I think it will
There's
be very
some things
different.
I'm excited about. There's some things I'm not.
Yeah.
Please don't go over half of it eating asparagus every single meal. I'll be okay.
Guys, I was sweating and pissing asparagus.
It was horrible.
Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, I wish I was kidding. Like, I truly wish I was kidding, and I'm outing myself right now, but I, like, smelled like asparagus.
It worked. Asparagus is great.
It was great. My digestion loved it, but I literally just, like, all the time smelled like asparagus. When I would pee, I couldn't even stand the smell of my own pee. I was eating, like, what was it, like 8 to 10 ounces of asparagus a day.
We would go to the store, and we buy a bundle of it. That was for, like, one meal. That was, like, or lunch.
Yep.
Another bundle was dinner. Did that for 7 days.
Yep.
And you were on prep last year for how 24, 24. I would say out of the 24, the last,
it was like 12.
I was going to say like 7 or 8 weeks straight was nothing but asparagus.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was having asparagus with every meal, like 12 to 13 weeks out. But when I had, like, once I got to like 6, 7 weeks out, I didn't really have any, like, true carb sources except for around, like, my workouts. And so, like, my carbs with my, like, lunch and dinner was just asparagus. But I'm not kidding you. Like, I couldn't stand myself when I peed. It was disgusting. So this year we're doing Brussels sprouts or green beans because I can't even look at asparagus without stinking.
But so. No, I'm excited. I'm going to this year on prep, like, pretty much like we did last year. All meals are going to pretty much be the same.
Yeah.
Tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take, you starting prep is bonus for me to kick it in gear pretty much. So I'm going to start tracking and take it less of a relaxed approach like I've been for the last, how long have we lived here? Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And start tracking again. Now, I'm not on prep, so if I go home by myself, whatever, yeah, I'll take those weekends. But, yeah, be more serious. If you're tracking, I'm tracking type thing.
Well, I'm always going to be tracking, so looks like you're SOL, dude.
That's what I just said.
I know. But yeah, I am excited though, because I think, one, I'm more mentally prepared. Like, I'm not nervous. I know I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, it's not a can I do it thing. It's really just kind of chilling at this point.
Also, I'm excited for like our prep meals. There's some meals that like we haven't ate since you were on prep since last year.
Because you gotta save them so that way they taste so freaking good when
and
you're in
some
prep.
of them are really good.
What were you thinking about?
Well, I'm still thinking about the new one that we had tonight, which the steak is amazing.
Oh my god.
But
steak and sweet potatoes. Yeah. Fuck. No, there's this Wild Harvest beef flank steak, and we get it at Deerberg's. It's the beef flank steak, the Wild Harvest. It's like grass fed, 1.5 fat, 0 carb, 25 protein. And obviously, it's not as great as like a ribeye steak, but like having that over ground beef is like baller. And
it is
like
so good.
It is so delicious. So I do that with sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts. Like, dude, I could eat that every meal. Like, it's fire. So, and like, I really didn't eat a lot of berries in my off season just because they're so low calorie. And so, like, I've been excited to like eat berries again and like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been saving like some meals.
Now that we're on prep, now that you're on prep, rice cakes. You get those again?
Yeah, I didn't really eat those at all in my off season.
Nope.
Fire. Yeah, there are some things that I'm excited to be able to implement, but I am going to be sad to say goodbye to some things like honey and whatnot, but it'd be worth it. But yeah, I think mentally and like physically wise, it'll be a whole night and day difference from season 1 to season 2, because I just think that I'm more prepared. I'm more
all
confident.
Around.
Yeah.
What you're starting prep with, like where you're at now, is a lot better than last year.
Yeah.
Your better mindset, better workouts. Your posing's better.
Fire. Posing's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all around.
I swear I adopted a dog. He's like licking my finger right now. You're being so cute. But yeah, I'm very excited. So started prep, which was a big reason why we switched the podcast. So I'm obviously stop showing them your butt. That's so embarrassing. So yeah, started prep Monday, and then I was traveling a lot, and we just travel a lot all the time.
There's a lot we're doing this summer.
Yeah.
So there's you traveling.
For work.
Us on prep, you traveling for work, things we have to go to one of our back to one of our homes.
My sister's getting married. One of my friends is getting married. Yeah.
So we're busy bees.
Busy bees, and we didn't want to just put out like shit episodes and just like throw stuff together, and have more time to be able to go through things, and then also make sure that I'm not like faltering on prep protocols, which obviously I wouldn't, but I just don't want to put myself under that much stress and pressure, and I want to keep it enjoyable, not something that I'm dreading doing, keep it fun. So we did decide to move the podcast to every other week. Yeah, so it'll be every other Monday, and with that, just, that's the reason why we did it, is because of the quantity of travel that we have, as well as with me being in prep. It just realistically made the most sense. We'd gotten in a really good groove with every week. But again,
we'll probably keep it like this until after your show, probably a couple weeks after your show, let you reverse a little bit.
Yeah.
Before we go back to.
Yeah, 100%.
So pretty much, you're about to get a whole every 2 weeks. update on prep.
Yeah, which is pretty fun. So be excited to see how some things transform, and I'll be sure to give like a little update maybe in the beginning of each episode if you guys want. So let me know in the comments if you feel like that would be fun to be able to have. It's just a brief little synopsis update of how things are going, which I do plan to talk a decent amount about it on Instagram and especially TikTok. TikTok's usually where I talk the most about like my personal life. Instagram is pretty personal still, but I do, that's where my business is, coaching, things like that. So TikTok is kind of like my yappy, fun sessions.
I almost look at it as when you post on Instagram, that's more. I'm like, huh.
Like it's working.
She's working. That's more boss her, corporate her. But then I see you on TikTok, and I'm like, that's feisty.
That's feisty Gemini me.
I'm like, who pissed her off today?
When Olivia posts on TikTok, it's either something funny as fuck, educational, or I'm yelling at somebody. Those are my 3 pillars of TikTok. So, but I be having a time over there, honestly. So, but yeah, I plan to talk a decent amount about protocols over there, just how things are going, food, cardio, progress, posing, especially. I've been really shit. He's feeling the same as me. Oh my gosh, we're literally twins. We have just soulmated so hard. We are literally connected in the mind. But I've been really working on my posing routine, just making sure I nail that. Obviously, I'm also excited doing 2 shows this year because, like, my nerves were just so crazy when I did my show last year, which obviously because it was my first show. 1, I've not been under stage lights. 2, I've not been under stage lights in a thong. So it's like, also, I've not been under stage lights in a thong, absolutely fucking depleted.
High heels.
And heels and an entire crowd of people. So it's like, all right, here we go, I guess. And so I was really nervous for my individual routine. But after my individual routine, like I got my sass, I got my mojo. So I'm excited to see, especially like my posing routine now having done it at least once, but then also from my first show to my second show this season, feeling super good and confident on stage from having a little bit more experience. So, yeah.
That, and also just, like, pretty sure you even made a comment last year when you got off stage. You're like, I want to do it again next week.
Yeah.
Like, you were done. You were ready to have prep over, but, like, at the same time, like, competing and show day wise, you're ready. So this time around doing 2.
Yeah.
So like how many days apart?
7.
Yeah. So just 1 week apart.
Exactly. I'll have back-to-back peak weeks. But yeah, I think, I did kind of regret only doing 1 show last year. I think it would have been fun and good to do 2. But again, I just wanted to get my feet wet, see if it was something I liked. So 1 was fine. But yeah, being able to have the experience of doing 1 and then being able to do another just with the experience of just getting on stage, feeling more confident, feeling in a routine, getting the feedback as well too, just not having as much nerves. But you live and you learn. And I'm happy that I did my 1 and I'm very happy with it. And it was an absolutely amazing experience. And I'm so glad that I did it because I wouldn't be here now if I hadn't have done my first show. I learned a lot from my first show. And that's the thing about, everybody's first show is, 1, go into it with the expectation of, majority of people should and will go into their expectations with their first show is 1, have fun. 2, bring a great package. Absolutely. Bring a great package, bring conditioning, bring muscularity, go into the division that makes the most sense for you that you're going to place well in. But just figure out if you like the sport. That's a big thing is don't put the pressure on yourself I have to take an overall in my first show. I have to take a class win in my first show. I have to get my fucking pro card in my first show. Like, bring yourself back to reality. And if you get those things, freaking amazing. Absolutely. And there are some people that have been living the bodybuilding lifestyle knowing that they love this shit, waiting to get on stage. That's different. And that's so freaking amazing. But if you're someone who you're just dipping your foot into competing, you're trying to figure out if it's right for you. Oh my God, I love this animal so much. Then I literally can't move now. This is going to be a 3-hour long episode because he's just going to be right here. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but he's just going to be here. But yeah, just go into it with one, keeping your health in mind, presenting a package that you are proud of and that is competitive. Still bring a competitive package and be proud of it. But bring yourself to the reality of this is something completely new to you, and that you're not lesser than if you're not getting an overall, you're not getting a class win your first show. I got second in my class my first show, absolutely over the moon, over the freaking moon. I got second all around in novice, true novice, and open. So freaking happy with that. Better than I even imagined I would do. Literally, I thought I was gonna get dead last. I literally standing up there when they were giving the medals, I was waiting for them to call my name for last place.
Yeah, like,
and I still would have beamed with happiness. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I did prep to be honest, like once I got to show day, I loved show day. It was so fun, but I was kind of like, I gotta get on stage, like and that's how I knew I loved doing it was because I enjoyed so much the grit and the journey to get on stage more than being on stage itself. Like being on stage was so freaking fun, like getting glitzy glammy, having my family and friends there, like so freaking fun. Presenting my package was amazing. But that's when I, got the itch again. I was getting the itch to like have something that I didn't want to do and get it accomplished and get it done. Want to give in, but not. Like that feeling is what I missed. And so that's when I knew like this was it for me. But yeah, I was fully prepared for them to call my name for last place. So
yeah, you said me. I don't care if I get a medal. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Yeah. And I think that's the best, that's a clear sign of, anytime I have someone come to me, that wants to be a competitor for the first time, things like that, that's a big question to ask is why do you want to compete? Because the right reason has to be there. If it's just, I want to lose weight, I want to be skinny, I like the look of people on stage, I want to do the glitz and the glam, not it. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a strong enough why that's going to keep you dieting for that amount of time at that intensity. And it's also going to put an impact on your health, probably to some degree, even if it's for a very short amount of time. Just for those goals, it doesn't make sense. And so that's why I always ask that question for potential competitors that I'm talking with is what's your reasoning? Is it because you want to challenge yourself? It's something you want to achieve because of the journey that it takes to get there. You want to test yourself. You are striving for that higher level athlete mentality, whatever it may be. That's what we're looking for. So, when you're thinking about, is prep something that I want to do? Is competing something I want to do? Think about it in the sense of the stage is there. Think about the entire 16 to 24 weeks leading up to it. Is that something where it's going to get hard at times. You're going to cry. At some point, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to be done. You're going to question yourself while you're doing it. But for a majority of the time, is that something that you're going to enjoy pushing yourself through and being proud of and being happy to be in? Or is it, I just have to suffer for 16 to 24 weeks to have one enjoyable day? So I think that's a big difference to think about. But yeah. Do you have anything to add about
you being on prep?
Yeah.
Not really. Just that I'm excited.
Yeah. Show day dad.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I'm gonna have a sign and everything.
What did the shirts say last year? Wasn't it just Team Live?
Yeah, Team Live. It's a picture of
you. Oh,
you
it's
on
Team
it.
Live Fit.
Oh yeah. With a picture of you on it.
Mm-hmm.
All
picture of me posing.
What is it?
The silver glitter.
Yeah, glitter.
Yeah,
all glitter.
the blue shirts. Blue's my favorite color.
It matched your suit.
It did match my suit, and I had no idea you guys were making the shirts.
Nope, you were surprised, Sade.
I know. I walked out and I was like, "Wait, why is everybody matching?" And then I was like, "Wait, that's me and my name on the shirt." But yeah, I'm excited, and you've learned a lot along the way that you've been able to pick up on, which is helpful. So,
makes me excited.
Yeah,
makes me think about it.
You're like the cheer mom in the stands.
Yeah. Kind of.
That's what I think of you as, is like the cheer mom in the stands. When I'm like doing my routine and you're like, bing, 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 bing.
Oh,
bing,
yeah,
bing.
like, I.
Work it, honey.
Last year, last time when you were on stage, like, I know your whole routine.
Yeah.
Your new one, and that you, like, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have it quite down yet.
Yeah. Well,
But
because
the
I'm
one-
also still tweaking it
Yeah,
every
you're
once in a
tweaking it.
while.
But yours last year, I sat there, and I didn't even really, like, watch or, like, look at how you looked. I was like, all right, posing. I was like, and, yep. Foot out. Yep. Pop that ass. Yep.
Yeah. No.
Flip the hair. Do a little
Bada bing,
sass.
bada boom.
Yep.
So.
But it makes me excited for you to do it again.
Yeah. It'll be
Although
fun.
I always said I never would do it. You going through it and us always talking about it.
Yeah.
Makes
Makes it something to think about.
Yep. Think about, maybe after.
You on stage would
After
be a
our wedding.
sight to see.
But the thing is, right? Facts.
You are so introverted. It's not even funny.
Yeah. But a lot of people that, like,
Yeah.
I follow, bodybuilders wise, the guys, a lot of them are introverts. It's just like an alter ego that comes out when they're on stage. But biggest thing about me ever doing it, one, right now, way too small.
Yeah.
Two, I would have to put on so much size.
Yep.
Because you won't catch me dead wearing trunks.
You're so funny.
Oh, not a fan. Not a fan at all. For me.
Yeah. Hey, everybody has what they're drawn to. So, I love bikini. So,
Period.
you can do bikini.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
You basically know the posing already.
Oh, yeah.
You just need to, like,
Give me some
grow some
heels.
glutes.
Fact. I have no ass.
Frog butt over here. But yeah, we're very excited for second season. But we appreciate you guys, understanding about, bi-weekly episodes. We want to make sure that they are quality. We also want to make sure it's something we still enjoy. We only do this for fun. We do this, for education purposes. And I know a lot of like my clients watch and, whatnot. So just
And family watch.
yeah.
AKA Hi Winnie.
Yeah. And so really just we want to do it. We do this for fun, and so we just want to make sure that we maintain it fun. But very excited to have everybody come along for prep. So yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding prep, show, second season, anything like that, we'll probably maybe do like a Q&A episode at some point.
You can do probably like halfway through.
Yep. So if you have any questions in regards to prep, whether it be you're thinking about competing or for my prep journey myself or like as a prep coach, feel free to drop them in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that way you can see more and get notifications when we post, as well as we do post on Instagram as well. So make sure to follow us there. But if you guys need anything, have any questions, make sure to drop them below. We'll make sure we answer them and hit them in our Q&A episode about prep. So, but for that, your bodybuilder has to get her 8 hours of beauty sleep. So I'm cutting us off, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.